What's up, Internet? It's the dumbass Panic Coast Gaming, and we're still hunting for Galarian Corsola, so we're just going to get kind of right into it. We still have a bunch of eggs left over from last time, actually. We don't need to talk to you yet, so let's just go ahead and start moving those in. So we still have almost 2 full boxes today. Yeah, and so we're going to do about 200. Well, the goal is 200. You see we have this Solgaleo here. That's one of my bullshit, like, mystery trade. Obviously, it's obviously hacked. We'll just leave it at that. So I just have that there so I know when I need to stop collecting eggs, basically, since we already have a bunch. But yeah, we're going to do about 200. So just go ahead and pull these, and we'll get right into it. So, funny thing, there was a Pokemon trailer today that showed us quite literally, well, I shouldn't say literally nothing, but damn near nothing. It was for the new Scarlet and Violet, and it, like, was supposed to... The main thing was it shows us off a one of the new gym leaders, which, okay, fine, but also I don't really care. But, like, they teased it as, like, guess what their, like, partner Pokemon is? And then they don't ever show you the fucking partner Pokemon. Like, apparently she gives you hints as to what it might be, but they don't actually show it. And it's assumed that it's going to be a new Pokemon anyways, so it's not really helpful. But it's just like, you guys really... You guys, this really? This was the trailer we're posting? Okay. Cool, guys. It's assumed we'll see in the very near future what that Pokemon is. But it's just... Like, it was a very weird choice, it seems like, because it basically told us nothing. And it's like we're a little bit late into the media cycle for this game, for Scarlet and Violet, that is, to be teasing stuff. I don't know, it was just a very weird thing. Because, like, a lot of people were ready to, like, you know, they were set up to react to it, like Wolfie VGC and Austin John Plays, and they just, nothing. We were just told basically nothing. But we'll see. God, if that one had been fucking shiny, I was gonna be mildly upset. But hey, speaking of breeding for shinies, so I bought something today that might be a little controversial because of how it can be used, but I'm not really gonna use it that way. So there's a device for the Switch. It's called the Switch Up. It's made by a company called Collective Minds, I believe was the name of it. The primary purpose of this thing is it lets you basically use any Bluetooth controller with your Switch. So like my Xbox controller, I can use that with my Switch when I use that device. Mind you, I don't have the device yet. It should be coming in tomorrow. I had a little bit of a headache trying to get it because they're kind of hard to find, other than on Amazon or directly through the manufacturer right now, for a reason that I think will probably be explained in a second. But yeah, so primary purpose lets you use whatever controller you want, pretty much. Awesome. But because of that, and because it's basically intercepting signals, it can also emulate signals, such as, say, creating macros to do things like, I don't know, shiny hunting? This is where the whole controversial thing. Here's the thing. I'm probably not going to use it like that unless, like, something really stupid happens. Like, say, I hatch the shiny Galarian Corsola and the game crashes and I lose the Corsola, and for some reason I can't hatch again. I think the eggs are already predetermined, but I don't know for sure. I would try it. Anyways, the point is, you know, in a situation where I get a shiny and I get fucked by a buggy game design or something, maybe then I would use this to, like, auto farm for a shiny. I don't think you can set up custom macros, but they already have, like, pre-built ones for Sword and Shield and BDSP. Potentially they might do it for Scarlet and Violet as well. We'll just have to see. But yeah, I mean, there's a bunch of things. There's some for just collecting the eggs, which might be interesting for some of my offline hunts, just so that way I can kind of automate some of that, just because it is a little tedious. We'll see. That's, like, the most I'm going to do for that, though. Like, I'm not just going to... Because you can just fully automate the shiny hunts and just, like... It'll just collect and hatch eggs until the end of time. But, you know, like, the thing is, it doesn't know when it hatches a shiny. But, I mean, you know, eventually you do enough eggs, right? You'll get the shiny. Well, in theory, this punt's kind of proving the opposite. The other thing that I saw that would be kind of useful and really not cheaty in my mind is for like something like Registeel, it can automate pretty much the resetting the game process. So basically, when you enter the fight with Registeel, you press one button if it's a shiny, and it'll kind of just like stop the macro. And or you can press another button if it's not shiny, and then it just like kind of does all the button presses to reset the game for you. Which, I mean, you know, you're not really saving much time with that. It's just saving yourself the trouble of hitting all the buttons over and over. So that could be useful. I don't really consider that cheating because, like, you know, I don't know. It's like, again, it's not saving really any time. It's not really changing the outcomes in any way. It's just kind of saving inputs on, especially with, you know, again, the Joy-Cons are, when they're in focus, are not great. So, you know, but that's also part of why I wanted it just for connecting the other controllers, because I can just use my Xbox controller, and that's going to be much more enjoyable than the Joy-Cons and stuff. And I don't have to worry about getting a Pro controller or whatever. I don't have to worry about Joy-Con drift anymore because I'm using a different, you know, controller. So I can just keep the Joy-Cons on the console. I'm actually not sure. I might still need to use the Joy-Cons to wake up the console. I'm not sure. Well, I'll find out tomorrow. But yeah, anyways, because of... So, they've had, like, 2 different versions of it. Actually, 3 different versions, but 2 of them are, like, just different colored versions because they're for Diamond and Pearl. But the original version that came out sometime around when Shield came out, or Sword and Shield, I think either when they came out or a little bit after. That version is basically sold out everywhere. You can't buy it anymore. And that version was on like GameStop and Amazon had it and stuff. I think there were some other sources as well. With the new ones, the Diamond and Pearl ones, I think GameStop got told if they keep selling this product, Nintendo is going to stop selling or stop letting them sell any of their games. Because mysteriously, this new one you can't find on GameStop anymore. And this company does sell other products that you can buy on GameStop, but not this one. Oh, and speaking of GameStop, we'll get to this in a second. But if you were waiting on the Volcanion, Genesect, and Marshadow to come to the US, that event, you're going to be very happy in a moment here. But yeah, anyway, so I think that, I think GameStop got told to no longer sell that product, which is pretty funny. You can still get it on Amazon. In fact, I think it's easier to get on Amazon than directly from the manufacturer. Originally, I tried to do that. So, directly from the manufacturer, they only have one version of it available now. I think it's the Pearl version. The Diamond is sold out. I assume they're going to be selling new versions for Scarlet and Violet, so they stopped manufacturing it. And are just, you know, trying to work through stock. But yeah, so I tried to buy it through them. I didn't, you know, I don't care that it's kind of pinkish, whatever. Why the fuck would I care? Anyways, but yeah, I wanted to do that. Tried to set up, you know, one of my cards for it so I could just purchase it, and doesn't go through. It says payment could not be confirmed, you know. So I was like, okay, well then I'm just gonna go through the effort of, you know, put money on the credit card to do it. That's fine. I was gonna avoid that just so I could skip a step. It's like, whatever. If I have to dick around with stuff, then we'll just do it this way. Tried that card, still doesn't work. As far as I can tell, I don't know if it's Shopify as a whole or just this, just Collective Minds website, but they don't let you order things and have them shipped to a different address from the billing address, as far as I can tell. I wanted to get just shipped here to my little office here. And yeah, they just, as far as I can tell, that's what it was, because they charged both those cards. Now, there was a pending charge. It cleared off within like less than 24 hours, which is actually really good for that. Usually when there's a pending charge, it sticks around for like 3 or 4 days. So I'm happy to see that that got dealt with very quickly. But it is a thing. It's like, if there's an issue with that, just tell me that. Also, it's literally set up where there's a checkbox where you can check billing separate from shipping address. You know, so just like, I understand it's probably just a Shopify thing, and maybe it's an option with their, you know, with that you can select with Shopify or whatever to not allow that. I understand the purpose of not allowing that because, you know, trying to not let people use stolen credit cards and things like that. I understand. Just tell me that's the fucking case. Maybe that somehow that wasn't, but I don't know what else would be wrong. Because certainly the second one I tried to enter, the second card, I made damn sure that was correct. You know, I double checked all those numbers and everything, so there's no excuse for it. Yeah, I don't know, just kind of ridiculous. So what I did today is I ended up doing the thing that I hate doing, which is buying it from Amazon. But in order to do that, because I had cash on hand, I tried something that I hadn't done before, which was I went to the store and I bought a prepaid Visa. Basically, it's a gift card, but it basically acts kind of like a credit card. I mean, it's a Visa card, right? Yeah, and I just did it that way. So I got that. Those do take a couple hours to actually activate. Even like, they'll show that they're activated if you go to the website that's printed on the card. Which, you know, you can use that to like check the balance or whatever. It'll show it's activated, but it'll also say like, hey, you have, you know, however much amount of time left to actually use it, which was a little annoying, but whatever. But yeah, you just go into Amazon, you enter that card, you use it to buy an Amazon gift card, so that way there can't possibly be any issue with like shipping address versus billing address. For the billing address, you can pretty much just enter whatever on that, because being basically a prepaid card, you know, there isn't really a billing address. It's not like you have an actual credit account or anything. But yeah, I did that, and then I ordered the device, and because I created a new account to do this with Amazon, it just, they're like, hey, you want free Prime for a month? Sure. So then you have to pay for shipping to get it tomorrow. So I'll hopefully get to play with that. Oops, I did not move eggs over? Really? I guess I didn't, did I? Okay, that's my bad. That's my bad. I'll just pull them from the back here. Already up to these shenanigans again. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so that works. So if you want to use a prepaid Visa card on Amazon, that's the way to do it. Or like if you have cash, but you want to buy something on Amazon, that's the way to do it. I don't recommend buying shit on Amazon, to be clear. I don't like Amazon. I know I'm streaming on Switch. There's a difference between me using them as my video streaming platform, because my options are YouTube or Google, Twitch or Amazon, or Facebook. And you don't win with any of those options, so, you know, it's just... Anyways, point is, try not to use Amazon any more than you absolutely have to, but in this case, I wanted to use the manufacturer's site. There wasn't another option besides Amazon, and, you know, manufacturer's site didn't want to work the first time, and I figured, you know what, I don't want to mess around with it, especially because it put the pending charge, right, yesterday, so I was like, well, if it, for some reason, doesn't work, this time around, now I'm gonna have to wait another day for that pending charge. And actually, that was before I even went back and checked those pending charges. So, you know, it could have been, you know, for all I knew, it could have been 2 or 3 days at that point. I was like, I would like to get this sooner rather than later. So, whatever. Amazon made their couple bucks off me. Oh, well. But yeah, to go back to the thing about GameStop and the code. So, because why make this fucking simple? They made it kind of a pain in the ass. So, if you remember the Volcanion, Genesect, and I'm doing this off stream. Volcanion, Genesect, and Marshadow were recently made available in a as a distribution in England, at least. I don't remember if it was across the whole, like, most of Europe or not. I think it was in England. Well, I know it was in England because that's where I got mine from, thanks to actually, thanks to Hannah in chat. But yeah, so, also, or Microsoft for a month. Yeah, I mean, god damn it, Mixer. It didn't help that, like, it already was, like, kind of struggling as a platform, and then right at that, like, right as it was getting near the end there, they had a bunch of real not good allegation stuff come out about sexual harassment, and I think there was some racism shit in there, and it's like, they just pulled the plug on it, which is a shame, because we desperately needed someone who isn't one of, like, well, I guess, to be fair, Microsoft is also a tech giant, but at least they're a little separate, I feel like, from the likes of, like, Amazon and Google and Facebook, you know? But yeah. Anyways. But yeah, so there's those codes, so now they're finally coming to the US. So Genesect and Volcanion, starting in a couple days, I think on, like, the 16th, will be available at GameStops in the United States and Canada. I think Australia and New Zealand as well. I think those are just like the name of the store or whatever, or EB Games or something like that. I don't remember exactly, you know, which company it is, but I believe it is coming to those. And then to make it just, you know, absolutely unnecessarily confusing, because fuck you for wanting this to not be a pain in the ass. They made it so the for Marshadow in the US, I think, and everywhere, it's being delayed a little bit. So I think the first two are like the 16th through the end of the month, and then Marshadow is like the beginning of November through like the 12th of November or something like that. And in all those other countries, Marshadow will also be at GameStop. And the US, however, they decided they needed to be real fucking stupid, and now you have to go to Target instead. Thanks, guys. Like, it might not make much of it or any of a difference, but like, why do we need to like split it across different stores? Like, come the fuck on. Especially because, like, I don't know, maybe this is just me being weird, but it feels weird that I would have to go to somewhere other than GameStop for that, or like an actual like game store, a video game store, because like, you know, if I go into Target into the video game section, it's like, hey, do you guys have the codes for Pokemon? Oh, well, yeah, here's the prepaid codes for you know, that you can redeem for like, you know, one of the games. You know, buy the $60 code cards. Like, no, the ones for like the Mythic book, like they're gonna fucking be looking at me like I'm fucking stupid. And or insane, and or both, and probably call security. Like, it's gonna be an issue. Because, like, who the fuck... What? I've never heard of an event like, or a distribution like that being at Target. Obviously, like, pre-order stuff, but, like, that's, you know, they give that to you when you pick up the game, right? It's just... who knows, man? Something that I did see suggested maybe, that it might be a thing that they just, like, leave, like, a... kind of like a coupon dispenser thing there, but just for those game codes. But, like, there's nothing stopping you from grabbing, like, 10 of them. Or all of them, you know? So, like, maybe that's how they'll do it. I don't know. It's just weird, man. Anyway, so I'll probably go get another, Genesect and Volcanion. I probably won't go get another Marshadow, because just on the off chance that I'm going to have to deal with some, you know, some person at the electronics department at Target looking at me like I'm speaking Latin, I'm not even going to deal with it. It's not worth it enough. The possibility of the super weird social interaction is just not worth one mythic Pokemon that I already have. If I didn't already have it, maybe I would worry about it, but So, who knows? Maybe, hopefully, we'll get Diancie at some point. I mean, that is literally my one not legit Pokemon that's left. And again, that's never been available, at least in the US, as a distribution. I think it might have been added to, like, it might have been available in Japan at one point during Sword and Shield. It is in the code for Sword and Shield. That's how I have mine. Thanks, Oaks Lab. You will be missed. But yeah, it's, you know, just weird. Maybe we'll get it. And we are still missing, you know, some Gen 8 legendaries as well. We did get all of the, like, title Pokemon for, Gen 8 with, whatchamacallit, Zacian, Zamazenta, and Eternatus. We did get all of those shinies. But, you know, we're still no Urshifu or Cubfu or, Calyrex or the horses. So, we'll just have to wait and see on those. Googled in 8 years ago. Walmart gave away some mystery codes too for X and Y. That's so weird. Like, I'm sure it is supposed to be very similar to, you know, the, doing it at GameStop. You just go to the counter at the electronics department and be like, hey, you guys have the codes for the thing? And then they give you one. Much like, oh, so here's the weird thing. So I was like looking for the, when I got my Eternatus, I was looking for the code card for it. And I don't remember being able to find it, but that's what it looked like. Obviously, I mean, it doesn't matter if I show the back or not, but like, because I already deemed the code. But yeah, it's just like, it's an actual like coupon thing. And on the back, it has the instructions to use it. Thank God for either, you know, kids that get it or the parents trying to help their kid get it. And then actually has the code on it. So I assume it'll be something similar to that. It was actually interesting, the ones that I got from England, they just print the code onto a receipt, which, honestly, I mean, if we want to talk things that are probably unnecessarily eco-friendly, that's probably better, right? But, like, also, it's not that big of a deal. I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. It just seems like either way works. It's neat to see like the actual like effort put into the distribution, but also like it's really not necessary. Just like print it on a receipt, guys. It's fine. Especially because if you print it on a receipt, I assume you can do like anything to like try and prevent people from getting a whole bunch. That's how it's always been here. Well, do you mean the receipts or the like the cards? Like, was this unusual when you went and got it for me? But yeah, anyway, so yeah, new distribution coming to the US. I think, yeah, Japan, I think I mentioned this last time, but Japan just got Shiny Eternatus, which is funny, they were, like, late to the game on that. Even when I got a Steam card once, they just printed the gift card code on the receipt. That makes sense, honestly. Like, it's... I don't know. I mean, the card... For a card, that's a little weird, just because usually they just have those, like with the Visa thing that I bought for it, like, it's a thing that's, like, on the shelf, and you just take it off the shelf. It doesn't activate until you actually, pay for it. Which maybe that's why, maybe just the systems are set up different, so they can't really do it like that, typically, but... Instead of scratching something away. Yeah. It's like... Huh. Yeah, anyways... It's just an interesting difference with that, but yeah. Hopefully we get Diancie at some point. Hopefully we get Deoxys at some point. I think those are like the only two mythics that haven't been available in the Switch era. Like, I got my Deoxys thanks to a trade, but... And that's the thing. Like, I know it's legit. Or I'm pretty damn confident it's legit, but also there's always going to be that little tiny thing of like, it might not be. But also I don't care because I already didn't care about that. I was just going to hack for one anyways. I was just waiting for Pokemon Home to be updated so we could even do that. But also, like, I need at least at least 3 more Deoxys if I want to get all the alternate forms for it, right? So, we'll see. I think the Mew I got had like a fancy code, or a fancy card, but the code was just a receipt inside the card. Yeah, so that has to be some sort of just like something about how their system is set up that they can't. Well, I don't know, because I don't think for Pokemon it would matter. Who knows? That's interesting. One of those just weird, like, quirks of how things happen differently in different places, I guess. It's easier to just print the same thing with no variation than have the store. That would make sense, yeah. Especially if you're worrying about doing a scratch-off thing or anything like that. Because I imagine that does add a significant amount of cost for, you know, just adding that, like, layer of scratch-off stuff. Especially for tracking how many codes were taken from each store if they care about that. Yeah, I guess that's a good point, because, yeah, they didn't, you know, there was no, like, transaction or anything when I got that Eternatus card. They just, they literally just opened a drawer and handed one to me. It's like, yep, there you go. I wonder if it'll be the same for, the Volcanion and, Genesect and the Marshadow. But yeah, unfortunately, didn't really get much done this these couple days off of streaming. I know, as usual, there's a bunch of stuff that I needed to change for the the info cards that pop up and everything. You know, didn't get around to that. Probably should at some point here. I think honestly, I might just not update those until the new games are out. I should probably just get like the ones ready and try and keep those like reasonably updated. The thing that I'm stuck on right now a little bit is I want to kind of make them animated. So I want to make them kind of match the webcam frame, but have like the colors be animated a little bit. But I'm stuck on how am I going to do that while still making it easy to update it. So we'll have to see about that. Because for some of them it should be really easy, and then for the others though, I don't know. Maybe I could just make the ones that have to update static, and then the stuff like, oh, support the stream and, you know, schedule and stuff like that, we can make those have some animation to them. Also, that does remind me, I need to actually update my webcam frame, because something I thought about recently is that, you know, there's a difference between limited and full RGB for video. We'll not get too much into it, but basically any video platform or like, you know, TVs, stuff like that, they all run on limited RGB, which means the very, very darks and the very, very brights, like pure white and pure black, are actually on like a TV or something, are not quite actually pure white or pure black. They're a little bit away from those, and there's a little bit of buffer there. I believe the reason for that being that just it used to be that TVs could be more inconsistent about like how much of that range they could cover. I don't know, maybe that... The point is, computer monitors are typically full RGB. It'd be very weird if they weren't. And so when you're like working on like graphics or something for a video, you have to take that into account, because YouTube and Twitch and pretty much any video platform you're going to upload to is going to be limited RGB. I didn't do that with webcam frame, so it's a very minor thing, but it just ends up with just the colors get just a little bit funky with the stream, or not even the colors. It's just they get things are going to end up a little bit desaturated. Some of the colors are going to get crushed, kind of, so they won't quite be as a... trying to think of how I would describe it. Basically, it's something you want to avoid if you can. It's fine for right now because whatever, it's a fucking live stream. It's not a big issue. But I do remember need to update that, which maybe I'll do that and add the animation to that as well. Though, it'll look fine. I was gonna say it could look a little bit weird if it's not in sync with the rest of the like if one of those info pop-ups comes down and the animation is slightly out of sync with the webcam. That could look a little weird, but it's fine. Also, I really hope the version 2 of the Now Playing browser stuff gets updated soon, or comes out soon, so that way I can mess with playing around with that and see if I can get that to kind of work with everything. That probably won't have any color animation to it, but it will, you know, it'll at least look closer. The big thing is I just want to get the get rid of the author being in green. I don't know what I would want to do with it. Probably just make it white or something, honestly, but we'll see. But yeah, still need to mess with that stuff. Still need to get these shinies. God. Could really use the shiny today. It's starting to get to the point where, especially if this Corsola hunt takes another full week, I don't think I can get all the shinies before the new games come out. Because that would leave me with less than about 1 month. Yeah, about 1 month to get like a bunch of shinies, and it's not going too well. You know, especially if there's another one like that. You know, that's kind of like game over there. But we'll see. And that, to an extent, again, that's part of why I'm getting the controller thing, is just so that way I can automate the I want to just collect a bunch of eggs before the stream. And then hatch them all on stream. Kind of like this. But, you know, not quite, I guess. Double check something. Did I actually move shit over here? Okay, I did. I was worried I never actually moved the Corsola out of the party. The other thing is, I guess I could, if I wanted to be super lazy on stream, or like if there's a day where I just for some reason I just want to automate it, you can have it automate breeding completely. So it just, you know, it talks to the daycare lady, collects eggs, does all the moving and stuff, hatches and everything. Or you can have it just collect eggs, or you can have it just hatch eggs that are already in your boxes. So if I wanted to, I could just collect a bunch and then start the stream and then just let it play out. Which, no. Like, you could do that, I guess, for like an idle stream where like you're not involved in it or anything. It's just you're just letting it play, and people can just like watch and chat or whatever, I guess. But which actually might not be the stupidest idea I've ever had. But the thing is, I don't know. They're like, it just, that does kind of feel like cheating at that point, you know, which I know is like weird of like, how do you figure out where to draw the line, and where you draw the line is wherever you feel comfortable drawing the line. Fuck you, it's a single player game, you know, and shiny, you know, even for online competitive stuff, shinies make zero difference how that plays out, so deal with it. Switch up plays Pokemon, yeah, exactly. So like if other people want to automate their shinies or whatever, fucking be my guest, I don't give a shit. But me personally, they're like, there is some aspect of it of like, you know, do it yourself. Don't just let the computer do it for you, because at that point, like, just hack for them, I guess. You know, just use whatever Twitch channel is the flavor of the month for generating Pokemon, because like, it's really not any different, except it's saving you even more time at that point. But, you know, again, whatever, it's your game, so do whatever the fuck you want with it. But I feel like pre-collecting the eggs could be good, just for, like, getting to do a lot more at once. And maybe, you know, if this hunt... Not this hunt, I think this hunt I'll just keep pure. But like on the next hunt or whatever, if I start being like, I don't know if we're gonna have time, maybe I can start doing that so I can knock out like 500 eggs a night or something like that. We'll see. I do want to try it on stream a little bit just to get an idea of, you know, how long it takes. Like, you know, if I recollect 500 eggs, how long is it going to take me to hatch all those, you know? But then at that point, it is also the thing of like, well, if we're doing it on stream and we're just hatching eggs, is that going to end up being any different from if I just let the switch up do it? You know? Like, if I'm still watching and still streaming it or whatever, is that any different? Other than that, it's going to save me a little bit of time because I can't fuck it up, and it's going to save me, eventually, you know, the wear and tear on the controllers will add up. Even with an Xbox controller, you know, eventually the riding around is going to hurt it. So, I don't know. But again, I don't expect to for right now. I think collecting the eggs is the most I'll do. Or again, if there is an issue where I lose a shiny, not because of anything I did wrong, just because the game crashes or breaks or otherwise screws me out of it. Like, it really depends on the... So, like, for instance, say I hunted for shiny Abra through encounters. If that Abra pops up shiny, and I didn't take the proper precautions to make sure it can't run away, and then it runs away, that wouldn't be fair for me to hack for. But also, if I encounter a random shiny Pokemon that then runs away or self-destructs or whatever the case may be, struggles itself to death, then that's like, well, that's not really my fault. Especially if I make an honest attempt to catch it and it just resists me and doesn't let it happen. Then it's like, well, it's not like I was trying to shiny hunt it and I'm stupid. It's like, it's just something I wasn't at all prepared for and is kind of weird to be prepared for. Like, I shouldn't have to keep a false swipe Gallade on my party at all times when I'm not, you know, just on like a casual playthrough. So, and again, I don't even know if that necessarily would be a situation where I would do it. You know, that is a little bit different situation, and maybe I would. The main issue would be game crashes after getting shiny, and when you reload the game, you can't recover said shiny. It's like, okay, well, fuck you. The game crashes in no way, shape, or form my fault. And I don't even care if it's a thing of like, oh, well, you could have saved fast. I'm like, fuck off. Like, if I get a shiny and forget to save and then turn off the game and I lose the shiny, yeah, that's my fault. But just game crashing is not the fucking player's fault. I was thinking for a second that using to auto breed, like entirely, completely automate it, could be interesting for something that's really stupid. And my first thing that came to mind was like Sinistea or Poltegeist, where they have the authentic and the fake forms. So it's like, even if you get the shiny, it might be a 1 in 100. You still 1 in 100 chance from there that it'll be the legit one, except you can only get the authentic ones through encounters, so that doesn't help me. But I'm just thinking of like what it could be. I mean, you can't breed unknown, so like that wouldn't really work. Oh, you know what I could do it for? For stuff like with the alternate forms, where it's like, for some reason they have a duplicate copy of the like base form in the alternate forms box. If like I already have one shiny, I could just auto breed for the alternate form version. So like that could work for Pikachu, for instance. Okay. I'm not hating this idea for that. Because again, to me, that's just... I already have the base form. I think the alternate form should just be the alternates and not include the base one, because that doesn't make any sense to me. Especially, I mean, again, that Pikachu, fine, you can breed for an extra Pikachu. Something like Deoxys, like, what, you have to collect another fucking mythic Pokemon? Something like Zygarde, where, for some reason, Super Effective wants the alternate versions and also the alternate versions with Power Construct and with... It's just like, why is this so needlessly stupid? I do mostly like supereffective.gg for the Pokédex tracker, but that is a very weird decision they did with that. And it's, again, it's not just the legendaries. I mean, just anything that is alternate forms. It just seems dumb. I don't know. Like, if I already have the legit one of a certain form, then I shouldn't need to go get another legit one of the same form just because you decided it also should be in a different box. Hey, what's up, Awesome Jess? Welcome to thank you for the raid. Oh my god. Thank you guys. Welcome in. Welcome in. As I suffer through this this very long shiny hunt that does not want to go away. Welcome in, Sajin. Welcome in, Jess. Thank you again. I appreciate the raid a lot. Alright, oops. So yeah, I'm currently 1,650 eggs into this hunt. This is supposed to be 1 in 512 because I have Shiny Charm and Masuda method. As you can see, that's going swimmingly. But yeah, I'm just working on trying to get all of the Galarian forms, or all of the Galarian regional forms shiny before the new games come out. Which, you know, more hunts like this, kind of making it questionable. I only got about a month to do it now. Thank you for the follow, by the way, Ragent, or sorry, Retro Sajin, or Saiyan. I got you confused with the Sajin that came in. What was Jess up to for her stream? Or his, I guess. Jess can be either way. Oh, that's right, it's girl. Okay. No worries. You're working on a Kyurem, Dialga, Palkia. Nice. Also breeding for or I guess maybe not necessarily breeding, but you're working on Phantump for a shiny hunt. Nice. Yeah, Phantump and Trevenant are good ones. I'm really hoping we see something soon for like the Halloween event. Oh, why did I... Don't know why I overcounted there, my bad. Yeah, I'm hoping we have a Halloween event and maybe we can get a Phantump or Trevenant in it this year. We did get a Pumpkaboo a couple years ago. Last year was... What was last year? I forget which Pokemon it was for the Halloween event last year, if there was at one. I think there was. Anyways. But yeah, anyways, we're just working on breeding some Galarian Corsola tonight. I started about 1,600 eggs on this hunt tonight, so we're going to go up to about 1,800, I think. Maybe more if I'm, like, really feeling crazy, but probably not. I tend to stick to around 150, 200. Excited ready to help a small streamer go after affiliate. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting close. I mean, I'm at there for followers. Just need to get my average views up a little bit, but over the last couple months, I was not very consistent, so it wasn't, you know. But anyways, I am on like a very much on like a steady schedule now. So I'm just, you know, 5 days a week, Wednesday through Sunday, so I don't stream Mondays or Tuesdays. Around this time is in the ballpark where I start. Generally I start either like 11 or midnight-ish. But yeah, I hope your stream went well. And thanks again for everyone who came in and came over to watch me. Definitely appreciate it, guys. So I'm doing a slightly different shiny hunt method from how I've done it in the past, where in the past I would just collect 5 eggs and then go and run across the bridge and back until they all hatch, and then come back, get 5 more eggs from the daycare center and whatnot. Now what I'm doing is I'm just collecting the eggs whenever they're available. I'm just riding in front of the daycare center. Still doing them in batches of 5, so I'm not swapping them out as they hatch, but the thing is, by doing it this way, they all hatch like back to back to back anyways. The only thing that sucks with doing it this way is the box management is a little bit of a pain. But usually it's not too bad. It doesn't help that after my last hunt I had a bunch of eggs left over, so I like started with using those. AI did well for you in Dynamax Adventures, thank God. Yeah, Dynamax Adventures can definitely, that can be a problem with the AI, but glad you had a lot of luck with it. And yeah, it definitely helps when you have even like one other person helping is a big help on that. Hope I get the shiny. You might do Pumpkaboo or Galarian Corsola next. You got Sinistea and 155 eggs. Nice. Hey, what's up, Dark Ghost? Welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. Is that... Ah, okay. Got some VTuber emotes coming in. Hell yeah. I know there's a little bit of a discussion. I don't think it makes a whole lot of sense, but there's a little bit of discussion that the gym leader that revealed for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet today is potentially like a VTuber of some sort. I don't think that really makes sense because that you're actually encountering her in person. Doesn't really make sense for a VTuber, but you know, who knows? It would make sense for them to try and capitalize on current trends. But whatever the new gym leader is, they are definitely some sort of entertainer of some sort. Alright, Retro. Thank you for coming in again. I do definitely appreciate it, guys. Just tuning in for a little bit is more than enough for me. I hope you have a good night. Haven't gotten into that latest update of Scarlet and Violet. There's nothing to get into. It all it does is it shows off the electric gym trainer. And it they made it seem like they're gonna reveal a new Pokemon, and then they didn't reveal the new Pokemon. And we're gonna find out about it some other time. They gave hints as to what it's gonna be, but it's a new Pokemon, so who knows? Heading out to Sanguine, or Sanjin. I can't fucking speak tonight. Anyways, thank you for coming in, though. Do appreciate it. But yeah, you're not really missing much yet with that new trailer. It didn't really say a whole lot. Rip, yeah. I don't know, it definitely did seem a little weird because we didn't learn anything from that 3-minute video, but well, we know that we know that it's an electric gym trainer, and we know what she looks like and everything, but we'll see. But yeah, definitely excited for the new games. I'm, like, actually hopeful, which is weird because I went into BDSP kind of like, well, I know they're not going to reinvent the wheel or anything. It's going to be the same games, but, you know, I never played the original Gen 4 games, so that was fine. And then I had very low expectations for Legends Arceus. I thought that, like, just knowing Game Freak's history, at least as of late, and, you know, the fact they were doing it like a third-person, open-world-ish kind of game with, you know, and that initial reveal, how bad the frame rates were on some of the Pokemon, although, I guess, to be fair, they were still pretty bad. I had very low hopes, and then the game came out, and it was a ton of fun. Looked like crap, you know. Not a very pretty-looking game, but that's fine, because, you know, that's, like, the thing, is, you know, whenever a game comes out and it looks bad, everyone says, oh, it's just the gameplay that matters, but then if it comes out, or, I don't know, I don't even know what rambling I'm going on now. The point is, Legends Arceus was good, it just wasn't good looking. And that's fine. Gameplay is what matters. Generally. Up to a point. There is a point where graphics can be so bad that it can very much take away from the experience. I'd even say Legends Arceus kind of bordered on that, but it wasn't, like, anywhere near enough to ruin the experience. But yeah, I mean, the new game looks like, overall, I think it looks better than Legends Arceus in terms of graphics, and, you know, it seems like it's going to be very much like a hybrid of the, you know, older, like, battle mechanics and stuff like that. For the most part, as Hannah brought up there, it's, you know, some of the status stuff, like, Drowsy and Frostbite, I believe, are coming back, which is, I don't know. I like Frostbite more than Freeze. I do not like Drowsy more than Sleep. I think Drowsy was basically worthless. But, I don't know, we'll see. I have a lot of hopes for it. I hope they bring it back open world shinies. For sure. I hope we find out that whatever that receiving eggs from the picnic thing is not the only method for breeding. If it is, we're going to have a bad time for those of us that like breeding for shinies. Though, again, to be fair, I guess, we don't know what that mechanic really is. All we know is that sometimes you get eggs when you do picnics. So we don't know, you know, what goes into affecting that, but I mean, other than that stuff, I mean, the game itself looks so far like it's going to be a lot of fun. It is disappointing there's, like, no real outfit customization, but, like, every other part of the character customizer is, looking a lot better, a lot more improved, so that's good, especially after the initial reveal of Scarlet and Violet. The main characters on that were very awkward looking. It almost felt like Uncanny Valley-ish, where it's like, fuck, yes, oh my god, finally, my hell is over. Jesus Christ. I have fucking saved before, for love of fuck, oh my god. This was my worst hunt I've ever done. Oh my sweet baby Jesus, save again, because goddamn. Okay, well, let's get that moved into a box, and we'll just finish hatching the rest of these, because, you know, I still have a few more eggs. Did I check what was second place? Second place was like 600 something eggs. Like, it was 1,000 eggs ago. Oh my god, thank you. I can finally start on something else. Oh, nice, and well, it kind of has perfect stats. I wanted to have no good attack and no good speed, but my Ditto is like a straight 6 IV Pokemon, so, you know, I can't really complain too much. Also, it's a shiny. I'm not going to complain about that. And hey, maybe, who knows, maybe in the new games we'll get like a plastic bottle cap or something that gives you 0 IVs. Okay, so, how many eggs we got to hatch here? Basically, almost 2 full boxes. Okay, cool. Okay, so I'll finish hatching these tonight. I have been going for about an hour, so... also, I need to write down the timestamp for that. I'll say about 50 minutes. That next one had also been shiny, I would have been so happy. Obviously, that wasn't going to happen, but, you know. Or you save the game second time and the game crashes. Well, hey, remember that thing I just talked about? Because I picked up the switch up? So, that would be the time when I would use that for the, you know, doing an illegitimate hunt, I guess. To, you know, make up for one that I get fucked on. But yeah, as I was talking about earlier, I bought a device today. I won't get it till tomorrow because it's being shipped. But it lets you use pretty much any controller with your Switch. So like my Xbox controller, I can use that with it. So I know there's a lot of like different kind of bullshit ways you can use that device because it has like built-in macros and stuff for shiny hunting. I have no plans on using those. Or at least in that way. At least for right now anyways. But, you know, for something like if I lost a shiny for a reason that's not my fault in any way, then I would use it in that situation. But we don't even have to worry about that because the game didn't crash yet. Oh, hey, it would help if I moved more into the party. So yeah, we're just going to hatch these and then I will wrap up for the night since I was already going a little bit. But I mean, it's still probably going to take me like 20 or 30 minutes to hatch the rest of these. Don't plan on shiny hunting or breeding in the upcoming Pokemon game. Yeah, I mean, right now we don't even know if there is shiny hunting. Or breeding, rather. I mean, there'll be some sort of shiny... We know there'll be shiny hunting, in fact, because on the trainer card, one of the stats listed is how many shinies you have battled. So yeah, I imagine if there isn't breeding, I imagine we're going to have the same thing as Legends Arceus, where we have some outbreaks. Or, you know, something similar to that. But yeah, tomorrow we'll start up Galarian Zigzagoon. That'll be the next one on the list. Hopefully it doesn't take me 1,600 eggs again. But yeah, I should also probably explain that number underneath the counter, which I'm like so in the habit of hitting that I accidentally hit it a couple times, so it's slightly off. Can I change the stats so it shows the percentage chance for you to have gotten 2 shinies? No. So I was gonna say that's that percentage is for however many I'm at. So at like 1,664 is what that percentage is at because I don't have it set up to reduce the percentage. That's me just being lazy with programming it. But that's how likely it is that after that many eggs, I did it again. Why am I doing that? Okay, anyway. Oh, you know what? Here, I can actually fix it correctly. There. Now it shows the correct percentage. Anyways, that's how likely that after that many eggs, you will see at least 1 shiny. I don't really have a way to have it show like 2 shinies or whatever. I'm actually not even sure how I would do the probability on that. I can actually go ahead and close the counter so that way I don't accidentally keep hitting it. But yeah, I just have that up so I can like kind of show how bad my luck is. So like, there was only about a 4% chance of this hunt taking 1,600 eggs. Which, in the grand scheme of things, 4%, not that bad of a chance. You know, it's not like the lottery. Speaking of, actually, I might have bought Powerball tickets. I should probably check on those. I think that the draw should have been done by now. Actually, wait, I probably can't talk about that on Twitch, can I? Ah, shit. Well, see you guys. Well, I was gonna say see you on Mixer, but that doesn't even exist anymore. Shit. Anyways. Oh, wait, did I move stuff back? No, I didn't move stuff over to begin with. Alright, get these. It would be really nice if I get another shiny out of this. I'm not gonna expect it, especially how this hunt already went. see it when Apple makes a streaming site. Honestly, I might be happier if Apple makes a streaming site right now, because at least it's something that isn't Twitch or YouTube. You have to go now, Dark? No worry, man. Thank you for tuning in. Glad you were here for the shiny. And hopefully we get to see you again sometime. But yeah, like in the grand scheme of things, a 4% chance of it taking this long. Obviously unusual, not unheard of. It certainly could have gotten a lot worse. I think it was at like 2,300 eggs is when you get to be like, it's under a 1% chance of it taking that long. So that's like when it starts to get really bad. I like reached over my hand to hit the keys for the counter, but it wouldn't, again, it wouldn't have done anything because I already closed the program for it. Oh, so glad this hunt's now going to be over. And I finally have something to upload as a highlight and as a, I'm going to make a YouTube short. I was going to make other shorts from like some of the old shiny hunts. Maybe I'll go back and do that some other time as well. I think I'll only do it with the ones that have a face cam. It's just, you know, there's not really a reason to do it any other way, I guess, if that makes any sense. I keep reaching. It's probably a good problem to have, but I keep on reaching towards the button to hit it. Like, every time there's an egg. But yeah, I think today the last VOD that I had ready to go came out. It was either today or yesterday, which it would have been the last part of this, so it's kind of perfect timing. But there might be like a 1-day gap in the VODs on YouTube, which, hey, I have a YouTube channel, so, you know, come check that out. Come subscribe and see all my old VODs. I have playthroughs of Sword and Shield, BDSP, Legends Arceus, Let's Go Eevee. I just finished up that playthrough. I will definitely be playing through Pokemon Scarlet when that comes out. What is the button anyways? I have it bound to, well, my program is very lazily done, and it basically opens up a command prompt, and then so I have to hit plus and then hit enter, and then that counts it forward. And then if I want to go backwards, I hit minus and then I hit enter, because I never bother to go through and actually set it up to listen for key presses when it's like not the active window. So, you know, just a little lazily done. There's a few shortcuts that I've taken with that, but that's fine, because it's my own little thing. That's something else that I need to, like, clean up a little bit before the new games come out as well. Which, hey, maybe I can work on some of that stuff, and I'm going to have a little bit extra time than I planned. Could fix that with AHA, at least, probably. I know there's definitely an easy way to do it with Python, I just haven't bothered to actually do it. It's also funny because I wanted to create my own counter program, well, partially to show the percentage stuff, which the death counter and soundboard doesn't do, but also so I could set up like at certain you know, numbers, let's say 69 and 420, it'll have like different sound effects that go off than the normal one. But then I haven't done that at all, so half the reason why I made this program isn't even applicable. You know, just I also don't ever update my invoke cards, so you know, I'm a little bit on the lazy side of things sometimes. But I don't know, it's also not something that's been, at least with the key presses thing, that's not been a big issue. I mean, sometimes if like I look at something on Firefox or something like that, I will like forget to bring back up the counter to the to be the window in focus. But who knows? Like there's so many little things that I need to do, not just like with the counter, but like with my setup in general, that's like so many things that I could do, but I just, you know, don't have the time to do, or Don't really have the space to work with that right now, but we'll see. I'm making little improvements here and there. We'll get there eventually. Oh, did all my stuff already hatch? I keep on doing this, don't I? Yep, okay. I'm so, like, not used to doing it this way anymore that I keep forgetting. I have one more box. Less than one box. Yeah, one total box and then some more. Anyways. But yeah, because, like, I can always use a Corsola. That being the evolved form of Galarian Corsola. I know they sound very similar. It's like in text, you know, makes sense, pretty clear. And, like, obviously I get why it's called Corsola, because it's cursed. But in terms of saying it, it is kind of awkward, because it's like, wait, which one? I wonder, I didn't see, but I don't think that the switch up has any sort of macro for static encounters. For BDSP, I left off. That was very important information on that. It does have it for Sword and Shield, which again, that's like the other place where I might use that, just for automating the presses for Registeel. Like, because you still have to interact with that. Because again, it doesn't have a way to know if you get a shiny. So once it loads into the battle, you have to either press A to basically disable the macro so you can try and catch it, or you have to press B to whatchamacallit. You have to press B to like keep resetting. Although, you know what? There is a Rotom Lotto thing that I could use. And I feel like this kind of isn't cheating, because again, you're just getting more Master Balls. I feel like the actual, I don't know. I don't care about like whether or not I used sat there and threw Pokeballs at it for like an hour and a half. Like that doesn't, especially on something like anyways. The point is, I could do the Rotom Lotto thing where it resets that a whole bunch to try and get more Master Balls. Because the profile that I'm doing that with isn't like this one where I did a bunch of, mystery trades and you get those hacked trades where they give you a free Master Ball with their hacked Pokemon. Trying to get you to use Machamps.com and that kind of bullshit. And like, if I'm gonna, be like, oh, that, if I want to consider that cheating, okay, well, so is me duping for like hundreds of Master Balls and BDSP. So like, I don't know. To me, that, I don't care. And again, if someone else considers that, I do have a bunch from the BDSP dupe, but I can't transfer them into Sword in any way. You can't transfer items with Sword or with Pokemon Home. And the reason why I would want that in just the static like encounter resetter or whatever in BDSP would be for Arceus and Darkrai and maybe Shaman. Even though Shaman's kind of easy because you can at least just run away and come back. But I don't remember seeing anything on their page about any sort of resetter thing for that. You heading out, Awesome Jess? Okay. Thank you for the raid. I definitely do appreciate it. Hope you get lots of good sleep. And yeah, I'll definitely try and check you out. I do definitely want to do some more raids in the future. It's just a lot of times my streams have been like, oh, there's one person in chat. And then I go and check my follower list and, oh, right, it's like 2 in the morning. There's no one else that I want to, like, raid is streaming. Oops. But definitely, yeah. I will definitely want to come in and show my support because, yeah, you definitely show me a lot of support, Gotta go both ways with that. So thank you. I do appreciate it. And yeah, I hope you have a good night. God damn it, I just realized what I'm fucking doing again. Me, pay attention. God damn it. Maybe this is why my damn hunt took so long. Fucking goddamn it. It's okay. We only got to do a few more of these. Clearly, I'm just, stretching things out for content so as to, you know, make this a full 2-hour VOD that I upload to YouTube. That's clearly what I'm doing here. But yeah, there's a lot of ways I can use that switch up thing. And, you know, most important thing is I have to, not I have to, but I want to use my Xbox controller on my Switch because Joy-Cons aren't cutting it. They're not terrible. I don't hate them nearly as much as some people do, but I don't like replacing my Joy-Cons every, like, year because of the fucking joystick drift, so... You just have to work in the morning? Yeah, I have had the last couple days off, which is nice, but yeah, my Monday starts tomorrow as well, so I know that feeling. Alright. I'm so happy I finally get to move away from this hunt. This hunt has been going on for a while, because I think I started this hunt right before I had my, like, month there or so that I, or even 2 months it might have been, where I was just very inconsistent with my streaming. Because my work schedule kept on changing, and that kept throwing me off, and then I finally get back, you know, and want to stream, but then I'd be tired. It's like, fuck it, I'm just gonna watch YouTube all night, and just, you know, things happen. But having this, like, very consistent schedule has made it so much easier to do this, because it's so much easier to just be like, yep, nope, I'm just gonna stream tonight after work. Okay. And especially now that we get to start a new hunt, it's gonna be a little bit more interesting too. Thank you, Corsola, for finally cooperating with me. Yep. Time to replace these. Also, that stood out a lot more than I expected it to be honest, when it did pop up shiny. Like, you can tell in the, you know, underneath the face cam and the music bar, it's like, it is kind of obvious, but I was, like, worried it wasn't gonna be. And those purple eyes are, like, very obvious. But yeah, today was a very successful day for me. Both in shiny hunting and actually, I had the day off from work, but I went over and, like, helped my buddy with his car today, because, we finally finished the brakes on his Mustang. Finally got those all painted up and shit, because that's been, we bought the paint for those, like, 6 months ago, and then they kept on getting put off because he kept on forgetting to buy new lug nuts, because thanks, Ford. Fucking stupid-ass plastic lug nut bullshit. But then we finally tried to do that a couple weeks ago, and did the front brakes. It was fine, let those dry, went and got food, came back, got the all put together. We went to the back, got those all torn apart, cleaned up, everything. Went to go paint them, and the second can of paint is completely fucked and wouldn't work. I was like, cool. So, finally today, he actually had to work today, but once he got off work, we just went over there, got some more paint and shit. I actually got paint for the his intercooler now as well. Hopefully that isn't the same. Oh, I didn't think about that. I better not become the same fucking story. But yeah, we got those paints. Mostly good. I think I might have to touch them up. It was already dark by the time I was doing that, so it was like a thing where, like, I sprayed them, and I was like, yeah, it looks fine, and then I'm putting them back together, and it's like there's clearly thin spots that I did not hit very well. It's like, oh, fuck. So that I'm just, like, bullshitting my way through just, like, holding it with the the masking paper instead of like actually masking shit off and doing it properly, and it'll be interesting. I think they'll look fine though, because I mean they're hidden behind the wheels. Most of them you can't even really see properly, like, so it's like, it should be fine. And on Monday, I'm actually going back over there to, speaking of his intercooler, we're going to do that on Monday. That's just going to be an all-day project. We both have the day off, and so it's just go over there and get that shit put together. His giant fucking intercooler that he's putting on this car. Well, I can't act like he's the one that, you know, he bought it under my suggestion because it was like, it's a giant intercooler made by a very reputable company actually, and it's cheaper than like all of the like a lot of the smaller ones that we saw, so it was like, yeah, I guess. And everything I could hear about it was that it's, you know, it's good shit, it works well, so we got that. But it's a big boy. But yeah, I'm happy to finally get that project done as well, because I mean, it's not my car, but like I like wrenching and shit. I have a lot of fun doing it, and it's I don't know. It's just, it's cool to make shit go fast. I don't know. But yeah, we should knock out that and his oil catch can. And then I think he says he wants to start getting some of his graphic stuff done, which is fine by me, because we're going to make it kind of Resident Evil themed, because we're kind of going to base it off of the Umbrella Corporation. But like, it's our own kind of spin to it. We'll see. I think it's gonna look good. I already, you know, we already put together some. It's not like a big, like, crazy, like wrap or anything we're doing with it. It's just, you know, a window banner, some like on the intercooler. We're gonna paint Umbrella on that. I haven't actually decided yet. That's something I need to work on tonight. Maybe is whether or not I want to paint the Umbrella logo on it as well, but I don't think that'll look good. I know it's not going to look good, really, because the Umbrella logo is white with a color, or specifically white with red, although we're not doing the red, we're actually doing purple. Again, we're kind of spinning it off in our own direction a little bit, but still very much keeping the reference. Almost like if, you know, Umbrella Corporation had a motorsports division, right? They might keep the same type of logo, but change up the color a little bit. We'll see. Well, there is no C. I think I had mentioned to him that, like, yeah, we could do red if you want, you know. And he's like, yeah, you know what? I really like the purple. So it's like, fuck it, let's send it. But yeah, I don't know. Should be a lot of fun. Still definitely a long ways to go with that, but at least it'll mostly be complete with like engine mods and stuff. It'll still need. I don't remember what was. We still need to do like some maintenance stuff, just like, you know, spark plugs is something that I want to do before we get it tuned. And then it needs a turbo blanket, and then downpipe and tune will just happen pretty much all at once. We'll do the downpipe one day, and then the next day limp it over to the tuning shop and get it done, because you aren't really supposed to drive it once you install a new downpipe until you get it tuned. Basically, the car doesn't like having the high flow cat in it. High flow catalytic converter, that is. To be clear, entirely legal in terms of emissions and stuff. It's just, it doesn't I don't think it would meet like California's like really strict emission stuff, which basically any car you buy in the United States is going to be compatible with that. So that way they can just sell the car over there, and they just have to build one car instead of building a California or any state that uses the CARB standards. That being California Air Resource Board, something like that. But it's referred to as CARB. And there's a number of states that just, they use either that standard or very similar. But Arizona does not. So it should pass all the emission stuff. I mean, that's why part of getting it tuned is making sure that it's not throwing error codes and shit. But anyways, the car doesn't quite run right when you do that until you get it tuned properly. But we were going to get it towed over there, and then we were talking to the guys. It's like, it's fine. Just, you know, don't put your foot down on the throttle. Just post it. Go easy on it. Don't make boost. You'll be fine. So, we'll do that. Because I was going to say, since he does have like, emergency, towing and stuff. I was just gonna say, let's just say your tire's flat, get it towed over there, and then have them put air back in the tire. You know? Like, it's... would have worked fine. Though, I say that, they asked for, like, the address and, like, the name of the place when you do that, so they might have known something was up, but either way, we'll just coast it over there. It'll be fine. But yeah, that's a little bit further down the road, because that's... I mean, downpipe is like $500. Tune is gonna be probably at least $1,000, because they have to do dyno testing and stuff to make sure it's, like, good. But yeah, should have a pretty cool car by the end of it. Well, I won't, but that's fine. Because, you know what, I'm also not paying for it. He's paying for all the parts, I just get to do the wrenching, and... again, I don't... It's annoying as hell when shit starts fighting you and it doesn't want to, you know, bolt back together or whatever, but, like, on the whole, I like wrenching. It's fun. Not fun when you almost kill yourself on a jack stand like I did the last time we worked on his brakes, actually, when we were trying to paint them. Where I was trying to tighten down the lug nut on the last wheel that we had off and we were putting back on, and I was just kind of trying to rush it, and I had my my breaker bar basically that I was using to tighten it. I didn't have it on the lug as far as I should have, and it slipped off as I was like putting my weight into it. And right behind me there was my jack stand that basically I landed on it. You can't see it anymore, but I'm probably gonna have a scar, but it cut open my thumb a little bit. Not like bad or, you know, anything like that, but it bled a little bit. But the thing is, that jack stand had been like 2 or 3 inches further over to the right. At the very least, I would not be walking ever again. Probably, you know, some other issues as well. Because it would have just been square in the center of my back and like right where the spine meets the hip, and it just would not have been a fun time. I might have been okay, but probably not. And then at that point also, you hit that and like all of a sudden your head's gonna whip back right into the fucking concrete, and you know, the fun shit that it's like, in the moment, it's like, ow, that kind of hurt. Or not the whole back breaking, and which I'm on Twitch, I guess back breaking. That's par for the course now. Good job, Twitch and Lenovo. Fucking almost killing one of your fucking streamers. Good job, guys. Fucking idiots. I hope I hope her lawyers take them to fucking town for that shit. Everyone involved in that needs to fucking be bankrupt. God, what a stupid bunch of motherfuckers. Anyways, we'll not go too far into that, but yeah, you know, I'm sure I'm not saying... I might be a little bit more frustrated on someone else's behalf too, which is probably, you know, unnecessary, but you know, I might be a little bit more angry about that than some other people are saying, but regardless, fuck every person in management involved in both of those companies, anyone that had anything to do with that disaster, especially because she was not the only person hurt by that fucking stupid foam pit. They had 2 or 3 other people get pretty serious injuries. Anyways. But yeah, it was a thing where like, as like, when the wrench slipped happened and I fell back, I was like, ow, that fucking hurt my hand. That was fucking stupid. And then like, an hour later, I'm thinking about it, it's like, man, that was a very close brush with, at the very least, a very life-altering injury. Oh, I should probably move eggs out. But yeah, it is one of those examples where you shouldn't rush when you're doing something like that. Because even if it's something as simple as like, you know, you're just tightening down a lug nut, if you're rushing and you do it wrong and you slip, you know, just stupid, crazy accidents. Like, don't get me wrong, that's kind of like a type of freak accident, what would have happened there. Because it just, you know, if, you know, the jack stand just happens to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, you know. But it's just kind of that thing to always try and think about that shit. Granted, I say that today, but while I was rushing, I got a very healthy dose of paint fumes, I'm sure, today. So, you know, I'm clearly not learning my lesson. Yep, there we go. I do wonder if there's a way, thinking about it now, that maybe I could try and get my, I don't know if there's going to be a way to do this, but get the, like, the color on the, you know, the frame for the webcam and, like, the info drop-downs and stuff, and also, like, the RGB for the microphone, try and get all those in sync so they're always the same. That could be a pretty cool effect. I don't think that's going to happen, because... honestly, this part would probably be the easy part of that, because, like, I don't know if this will work through, like, any of the open RGB type controller stuff. But, like, changing an image like that on the fly might be a little bit more difficult. I'm sure you can set it up pretty easily so that, like, the timing, like, the speed at which it's changing colors is all the same. And maybe that could work, but, like, then you have to try and get it timed correctly, and I don't know. Maybe a one-day type thing. I don't think that's anything I'm going to bother with in the near future. I do like this microphone, though. I'm glad I got it. I mean, I'm sure the non-S version, the one that's just red LEDs instead of RGB. Ugh. I don't know why that's been happening, where, like, the back of my throat just gets, like, scratchy and then, like, catches on something and it just doesn't... I can't speak for a millisecond. Would help if I grab the eggs, you fucking idiot. Last eggs I think I have too, yeah. Actually, I think we'll have technically one more. I never actually went and grabbed those out. Whoops. We'll do that after we hatch these. But yeah, like, the non-S version of the Quadcast probably would have worked fine. It's just, honestly, I just wanted the USB-C. That was my main thing. I just didn't want to use micro USB because I hate that port with a burning passion. As should anyone sane, those things are the most fragile shit on the planet. But, you know, the RGB is a nice touch. And just the fact that, like... I said the fact that I can just... Or I was going to say the fact that I can just tap the end of the microphone and mute it is, like, you know, really nice. And then I missed it 13 times. But, like, I know that's with the, you know, non-RGB version as well. But it's, like... I just like half of that, dude. And, like, again, the light turns off when it's muted, so in theory I should know. That doesn't mean I've never done that, where I kept talking when it's muted, but at least I don't have any excuse for it. Alright. Last 5 out of 6 eggs. Maybe we'll get another shiny. I'd be so happy. That would make this... I mean, that would bring down the average to, what, like... 1,700? Or, so 1,700, but divided by 2, so, like... whatever that works out to be, like 850 eggs. That's not as bad. You know? I don't think it's gonna happen, though. I don't think I'll get that lucky. Game can feel free to prove me wrong, though. Yeah, I wonder if tomorrow... I hope I have time to get the, that thing set up. I forgot the name of the switch up. I don't know if, I would assume by now they come preloaded with the firmware for BDSP stuff. Because that is the thing, like it says it includes the BDSP firmware as like a free download as long as you buy the Pearl or the Platinum or the Pearl or the Diamond version. Whereas if you have the original version, it's like a $20 upgrade fee or some shit. Which, like, I get it's development that's happened since the original one. It is kind of weird and shitty, but also it's a $40 dongle device, so I don't know, it's not like that big of a deal. Anyways, grab this. Alright. One last egg. Yeah, hopefully it comes with that stuff. I mostly would use it for this anyways, I guess, so it's not really... Also, you don't really need to update it, I don't think, for just any of the controllers. I think that should just work. It just gives you the newer macros. But I think they realize that that's probably a lot of why most people end up buying that. Which, again, your game, do whatever you want. I mean, I'm going to use it in some capacity for that, so by some people's logic, I'm just as bad as any of the others. Alright. But yeah, I'll see if I can get that set up tomorrow. Also depends on how early it comes in, which is a little worrying because I'm getting it shipped here, but I won't be here past like 4. So hopefully it comes in fairly early in the day. In fact, no one's going to be here past like... Yeah, anyways, we'll see. We will see. Alright, well, only one shiny today. You know, out of much less than 200 eggs. Just such a tragedy. Definitely want to keep this, the, like, really good one. We'll go through real quick and double check, make sure none of those were shiny. None of those other ones. I can't, especially after seeing the actual shiny one, I can't imagine that it, you know, I'd be able to confuse it, but we'll see. We'll just look through them real quick. Again, we're wrapping up a little bit early tonight. Not too bad, it's been an hour and a half. Anyways. Let's check these. Little disappointing this isn't a dusk ball, I'm realizing now, just because it would look really good in a, well, I guess the black and the purple wouldn't necessarily be better. Anyways. Don't care about stats, just want to see that shiny thing, but, again, it's, I don't think any of these are shiny. Welcome in, Boloscar. I'm gonna be honest, you're coming in right at the end of the stream, my man. Sorry to tell you, we are wrapping up in like a minute here. But thank you for coming in, I do appreciate it. But yeah, we did get our shiny Galarian Corsola tonight at 1,662 eggs. We'll pull them up. Maxed out IVs, there they are. But yeah, fuck, we finally got this. God, this has been a long one. It's been a long time coming. I'm happy to have it. Happy to finally move on to Galarian Zigzagoon, which I will do tomorrow. Tomorrow, probably around 10:30, 11 p.m.-ish. That's Mountain Standard Time in Arizona, so right now it's about 11:30, so, you know, just do the conversion for your local time. Yeah, we'll start working on Zigzagoon. I mean, I'm still, until Scarlet comes out, I'm just working on shiny hunts, or until I get all of these, and then we'll figure out some other hunt to do. Yeah, I'm just thinking, yeah, I mean, that's, you know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, those are my stream days. We'll just be shiny hunting every day. So, hey, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching this VOD anyways, come check me out on Twitch. I stream, like I just said, Wednesday. When I'm not knocking down my controller, I stream Wednesday through Sunday, no Mondays or Tuesdays, at least for the time being. I don't see that changing for... If that changes, it'll be because my schedule gets changed completely. But yeah, we stream about, you know, like 10 p.m. till around 12 p.m. is when I start. Typically go 2 to 3 hours a night. Yeah, I mean, right now, basically all I do is shiny hunt. I do playthroughs, though. We do Scarlet and Violet. Or we'll do Scarlet and Violet when those come out. I've done, you know, I've done something from each one of the Switch games. Obviously, I haven't done Shield or Let's Go Pikachu or Shining Pearl yet, but maybe one day we'll do those. Probably not, I'll be honest. But yeah, so, you know, just come watch on Twitch. You get to watch everything live. You get to see me get the shiny live. Oh, I was so happy to get this one today, as you probably saw. And if you're watching on Twitch through VODs or whatever, come watch on YouTube because they stick around longer than 7 days and they're in higher quality. And frankly, the YouTube player is much better than the Twitch player. For, you know, I know YouTube's worse for live streaming, at least currently. Twitch is hell-bent on letting them take the lead there. And YouTube is ever so slowly working their way forward. But for VODs and stuff, YouTube is just superior. Plus, like I said, you get slightly higher quality. I record in a little bit higher quality than what I stream at. Actually, about twice the quality, twice the bit rate. And you know, I know it's shiny hunting. It probably doesn't matter, but it gets rid of any of the blockiness that might occur. But yeah, either way, let's try that one again. Wherever you are watching, I have to talk like a robot because if I don't, I jumble all my words because I'm a fucking idiot. Anyways, but wherever you're watching, I do definitely appreciate the support. Thank you everyone who came in today just for the raid. Everyone who came in, followed, all that fucking awesome stuff. You guys are great. Love ya. And I'll see you guys next time.